what happens when you interact with weak people and what I would predict for the future based on my previous experiences. And I hope you can all learn something about this, and hope you can learn something and curate your circle and curate your life accordingly. So one of the best things about being rich is curating your life absolutely. And when you curate your life, by extension, you have to curate the people you spend time with. It's very difficult for you to keep the exact same people you currently spend time with and change your life, because you either have to elevate these people along with you, many of which are not capable of elevation, or you would have to suppress certain qualities within these people, even if you believe it's for their own good, and you would be resented for it. So when you change your life, the people you spend time with has to change. But I will argue that when you become monumentally wealthy, because I am a winner, a whole lot of people may not like me, but nobody can say I've lost. I have won, and these people know I have won, which is actually one of the primary reasons they pretend to dislike me. I'm going to talk about this and some energy absorption points later on. But initially, I want to explain, and I can talk about how great it is to fly private, or how great it is to have supercars, and how great it is to not have to worry about money, and to view the world as free, to have a card that always works and everything is free all the time, to not look at the prices of things ever, to order whatever you want, any car, any item of clothing, any meal, and to not even look or know the price. But what truthfully is the best thing about being rich is you no longer have to interact with anybody you don't want to interact with, which means you can avoid a huge percentage of the population which are not capable of improving themselves or understanding you as a person. If you don't need other people, you can set standards that you can't when you are broke. When you are broke, you are forced to exist amongst people you don't want to exist amongst, to talk to people you do not particularly like, to work with people who do not agree with you. When you are poor, you are forced to interact. But when you become the A side of life, like me, when you're at the absolute upper echelon, you can set the world on fire and ignore them. It doesn't matter. Your money is secure, your family is secure, your life is secure. It doesn't matter how mad people get at you, and it doesn't matter that you do not interact with these people. So I have some standards for who I talk to and why. And one of those standards is in relation to strength. If you're weak and you're trying to get stronger, that's forgivable. But the people who remain weak or who pretend that physical strength is not important are the worst people. You know, we live in a world now where you're supposed to ignore basic pattern recognition. They encourage you to do this. You're not allowed to identify a pattern inside of your own mind because it goes against the slave mind programming. And the slave mind programming doesn't want you to have pattern recognition. It doesn't want you to accept that if you let go of a cup, it will fall to the ground because of gravity. If I drop my phone, it's going to fall to the ground because of gravity. How do I know that? Because every single time I've let go of my phone, it fell previously. So I've used previous data to come to a conclusion on how to predict the future. And you should do this with all things in your life, although it is heavily discouraged by the matrix. So we're going to talk about what I have in my experiences from weak people. The simple explanation for why I have a disdain for weak people is that they are liars. And anybody inside of your internal circle should never be a liar. You can have people who disagree with you. You can have people who perhaps do not share your worldview, but they should at least be honest, because lying is treachery. And weak people are always lying to themselves. So how can you expect them to tell you the truth? Let's analyze that again. If somebody is constantly lying to themselves, how can you expect them to be honest with you? They lie because their entire worldview and all of their self-esteem is built on a lie. Lies are all they know. Weak people will pretend that strength is not important. This is a huge leap. This takes incredible courage. They say, we don't live in the caveman days. You're right, we don't. It doesn't matter, but it does matter, and we're going to discuss why it matters. But the fact that they will bend reality to avoid them having to put in some effort is actually a huge red flag. So let's analyze this. I have a strong business partner, I have a weak business partner. Both of them don't try. Who is more honest to admit, who is more likely to be honest and admit to me they did not try? The person who understands that trying is necessary to yield results, the guy who goes to the gym every day, or the person who believes that you don't really need to try because it's not important. These people are fundamentally dishonest. When I see somebody who is not strong and not interested in getting strong, I know that their word doesn't mean anything because they've been lying to themselves their entire life, so I don't trust them. Another reason I do not trust the forces which are externally applied by your enemies and by life, meaning they are likely to betray you. If your friend is strong and he is dragged into a police interview, he is less likely to bend, break, or sell you out than if he was weak, because a weak person is afraid of persecution. A weak person is afraid of consequences. They are afraid of going to jail. So a weak person is more likely to bend and break in the scenario in which they have to put their own personal liberty on the line to defend you, as opposed to a strong person. A strong person knows they can handle. They understand that being honorable will be rewarded karmically by God, and they can handle the consequences of doing that. If you can't handle the consequences of being honorable, how can you ever be expected to act honorable? So weak people are great when everything is great, but they are useless when times get hard. And ask yourself, do you want friends who are great when things are great? Or do you want friends who are there when times are hard? If your life's already going well and everything's going great, what do you need them for? You want to go drinking? You want to party? You want to laugh? You want to be a bunch of clowns and achieve very little? Because when times are going well, when everything is perfect, that's when you enjoy the hedonistic side of life. You don't grow as a person. Often you don't achieve so much. You're only achieving and growing as a person during the most difficult times in your life. When things are going perfectly, that's when it's all just a clown show. Do you want friends who are capable clowns but are completely useless in a war? If you do, then perhaps you are that type of person, because birds of a feather flock together. If you're the kind of person who thinks it's okay to have friends which are only useful during the best times of your life for entertainment and provide no utility during the worst times in your life, then perhaps you are one of those types of people. I believe that my circle should be most useful to me and most loyal to me when the chips are down. When everything's going well, it's private jets, it's champagne, it's pretty girls, it's penthouses, it's Bugattis. That's great. I can do that by myself. When I need help is when I need friends. So I enjoy spending the good times with my friends because I know they would be there in the bad times. And you can't rely on weak people, because even if they have the best of intentions, even if they love you with all of their heart, their love means nothing, because external pressure will make them break. It doesn't matter how much they love you. It doesn't matter what their intention is. It doesn't matter what they promise. It doesn't matter what they say. All that matters is all of that will go out the window once they break, because they are weak. If a weak man says to you, "I got your back 100%, bro," he may mean it when he says it. He will convince you because he is not lying, but he is incapable of resisting pressure. So all of those words go out the window once he breaks. So when a weak person says something to you, you can ignore it. It's worth nothing. Every word that comes out of a weak person's mouth is a lie, because they've spent their entire life lying to themselves, and by extension, they're gonna lie to you. Another reason I don't like weak people is they're broadcasting to the world that they lack discipline, because the great thing about strength is that it's actually very easy to achieve. Truthfully, anybody knows what it takes to get strong. So let's analyze as professionals. If everybody understands what it takes to get strong, and they understand that they are viewed differently for being strong, and that they are viewed in a positive light for being strong, and still refuses to become strong, they are telling you that they lack dedication, they lack the motivation required to do hard things, and that when the going gets tough, they quit. That's what they are saying to you, and you can instantly see it, whether they want to say it or not. That's what they broadcast permanently. It doesn't matter if it's a business discussion. It doesn't matter if it's a fitness discussion. It doesn't matter. When you see a big, strong man, you know he has at least the qualities of dedication. You know he is prepared to push past a certain point where most people would quit. You know he's the kind of person who understands how important it is to be seen in a certain way, so they're protective of their reputation, that they're proud of themselves. If I was obese, saying the exact same things I was saying to you, you wouldn't listen. You are here because you know I understand the tenets of strength, and I understand the tenets of discipline. So these are people who are prepared to broadcast to the world that they lack discipline purely because they are so monumentally lazy, or they are so afraid of difficulty that they would rather suffer that than fix the problem. What does that tell you about a potential business collaboration? What does that tell you about an FBI interrogation? What does that tell you about a nightclub combative situation? It tells you that these people are not going to be there when the going gets tough, because everybody knows how to fix it.